Ebro, Rosenberg show.
Before we came into this, I've been watching this Texas primary conversation.
Oh, okay.
James Tallarico wins, beats Jasmine Crockett for the Democratic nominee down in the Texas primary. But one of the conversations that I'm seeing is how people, TikTok is now the Ellison family. That's Oracle. That algorithm, that whole thing on TikTok is locked into that.
Correct.
So they're suppressing content that doesn't align with their ideals.
Yes.
Now, their ideals are Christian nationalism, white supremacy, pro-Zionism, all that kind of stuff, pro-Trump, MAGA. That is the people who run TikTok. That is their alignment. So then a lot of people are like, my content's getting suppressed about talking even about the success of the Democrats in the primary in Texas because the institution that is Republicans, Texas, MAGA, doesn't want the country to know how many people came out in support of James Tallarico and turning Texas into a blue state.
Well, and I guess who came out for Crockett because it's the total.
Yes.
Of what
she got 1 million and something votes. She got 1 million, he only beat her by 100,000 votes.
Right.
But 2 million plus came out
for the Democratic primary. And they don't want to talk about that.
They don't want that to be the convo.
Of course not.
And so people are also jumping on Instagram and noticing that their content is not being shared. So now, and this is important, with the Paramount Plus and the Warner Brothers of it all, basically institutional media is under the control of conservative Christian white nationalists.
Yes. A lot of it, sure.
What is it? NBC maybe?
Because you can't even really
NBC
trust
Universal?
Meta anymore.
You say it again?
You never could.
You can't even trust Meta anymore.
Well, that was going to be my next line. Then you have the Zuckerberg of it all, who's got to, play the game.
Then you got Musk.
Then you got, that's Twitter.
Yeah.
Gone.
But that was
That's
still a
been
thing.
gone. Yeah.
So you have this YouTube thing that seems still pretty agnostic, right? Like it doesn't feel like content gets suppressed.
No, they have all kinds of. They're showing it all. It seems like.
It seems like. So anyway, that's what I was deep down the rabbit hole on. I'm really trying to wrap my brain around if you are trying to tell a story, a mainstream news story about the political climate, where are you going? Because ABC is Disney. And remember, they already went after Kim. They were able to get to Kimmel inside ABC. But the FCC was.
That is interesting, though, right? Because Kimmel came back with a vengeance.
That's right.
He's back and he's talking full on that ish.
That's right.
So on some level, Disney, I guess, stepped up on some level to saying we're okay with this.
Yes.
Because he's going hard.
Yeah.
How long is it going to last, though?
I don't know.
Well, this is all gearing up.
Disney, listen, these companies can fight if they want. The problem was the first ones that started folding really set it up for everybody to have to fold.
Well, no, I think what happened first was people played the game. They went up, they did the dance. They did the dance. They showed up to the White House.
Hey, we're all here.
We're here, man. Here's $1 million. Here's a couple of million. You want to build a ballroom? All right, cool. Here's some money.
Oh, yeah, nice drapes.
Listen, money. I'm here. I'm giving you gold bars. I'm at award ceremonies.
Yeah,
whatever.
we're fine.
Everybody's dancing. So everybody did that to preempt the kind of like negative blowback from the White House attacks to protect their stock price. Because that's what it was for.
Stock price, got it.
It was all of this is for stock price, right? And so now the question is, as we get close to midterms, the fight is on to shape the narrative. Who's going to be able to control the megaphones? Because if we get to November and we're able to effectively take Congress back as people who are like, this White House is out of hand, that's when you start to see the House of Cards fall. Mm-hmm. Because people keep going, where are the Democrats? Where's Congress? Where's this? Where's that? You're also seeing, I'm sure on your algorithm, you guys were seeing Republicans attacking the Trump administration for their decision on Iran.
Yeah.
And being dragged into Iran by Israel.
And I will say, I don't see it as much as I used to. Like in the past month, it's slowed down. I have to look for it, or if somebody sends it to me, but I don't see it anymore.
That is possible, too.
I don't see it.
But they're not happy. It's not being well received. So
No. But I'm watching all this. I feel like, you know, I don't think it's hyperbole, man, when people are talking about the democracy being over, man. I don't think it's hyperbole. I don't think it's hyperbole to be discussing what's going on in the United States of America right now as not a significant shift to the way not only we're perceived abroad, but how a generation growing up right now actually perceives the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That's not being overstated in any way, shape, or form.
No, there was a time, 2016, 2017, when it felt like there were moments where all of us were like being slightly hysterical about the whole thing. And everything has happened. Everything is basically, the only thing that didn't happen that I didn't have on my bingo card really was, of course, the pandemic, followed by then Biden winning. Because I just assumed Biden wouldn't have won. And it would have kept rolling from the last one. Mm-hmm. But then what I also didn't have at the bingo card was Biden would win. We'd all think, oh my God, we like sort of defeated it. And that he'd come back 4 years later. Right. And that's even more dangerous. I think, how do you think about this take? I think we would have been better off in the long run. I'm not talking about the COVID part. Mm-hmm. Although I don't know how in the end, how different Trump would have been, because Trump was kind of vaccine friendly by that point.
Yeah, because remember, he went and got vaxxed.
He got vaxxed and was like...
Even though he told you to drink bleach before that.
He was trying to appease the anti-vaxxers while he was kind of like, you know, Operation Warp Speed. I'm removing the COVID thing because it's complicated. But I feel that minus COVID, we might have been better off having Trump's terms back-to-back than what we got. Because I think the 4 years between has made them more dangerous. I think it allowed them more time to figure out how to put things in place. I don't think
we would have recovered from COVID as fast.
That's why you can't really remove the COVID part, I suppose, right? Because that would have made
And I don't think COVID happens without Trump in 2016. If Trump's not there in 2016, it doesn't happen. They had an office of people who dealt with this sort of thing. Because remember, the president of the United States and many of these people in Congress, they don't know stuff. They don't know everything.
No.
They are not professionals in every... The president of the United States often isn't a professional at anything other than politics.
He doesn't know. Trump doesn't know about anything.
No, I'm saying,
and most don't.
I'm saying presidents in general are not like this end-all, be-all, know-it-all. No. They have people who are specialists advising them. They have a staff of 1,400 people or some crazy number. And remember, in the first term, Trump could not fill positions. Mm-hmm. Or just completely shut down offices of people who could be like, sir, we have a problem. This is what we need to do. There is a country in China, or there's a city in China that is 8 million people in it. They've shut it down. We need to do something. Matter of fact, we need to work with them to get as much information as we can. Not blame them, not create an adversarial relationship, not talk to not talk to scientists.
Right.
Or think we somehow live on an island and we're untouchable by ourselves. That's the most dangerous thing that's happening right now. Mm-hmm. China is actively supporting Iran and nobody's talking about it.
Bro, that's so scary.
China flew 19 planes into Iran, turned off their transponders, and delivered weapons to them 2 nights ago.
So what you're saying is that hints at that world war could be on the table.
No. This is active, bro. This is not a game. You guys effed around, played around, and elected a madman and his idiot white supremacist friends to run a country and think you could run around the globe and bully people. They are not playing. Iran is not playing. Sorry.
And they played the first time. The first time they did the dance.
Yeah.
You went in, you blew things up. They didn't really fight back. They kind of sent some half-ass missiles that they knew would get intercepted. And now they're not doing that.
Because you know why? At the end of the day, you know why? What people really want? I firmly believe this. They want to take care of their country economically, have a prosperous country, get people jobs and do stuff, and go on about their business. They want to sell their little oil. And they don't want to be told what they can and can't do.
Right. And yeah, they may be doing nasty things, but guess what? So are all the people telling them that they shouldn't be doing it. So you put a gun to their head and said, you guys can't have guns. That's the one rule. The U.S. has normalized that they tell Iran, you're not allowed to have nukes. Mm-hmm. What? But listen, I'm not saying it's great for Iran to have nukes, but how can you tell them not to when everyone else does? You have it. China has it. The Russians have it.
Israel has it and lies about it.
So how are you supposed to tell them not to? That's the only recourse they would have to try to have a deterrent. So this wouldn't happen. And now you're showing them exactly why they need it.
Well, and
run by idiots. Like, we have Cash Patel, bro, leading the FBI. What are we saying?
Well, and remember, Laura, we're not even in this with Iran if we would have left them alone 60 years ago. It's not even happening.
Well, but what if we just left them alone from 2018?
Well, remember
Obama
did a bad deal. So and nobody's really talking about that. Trump tore up the deal that Obama had. You know what? Matter of fact, Rasan, this guy does good explaining. I don't know if you guys follow him. He calls himself Sully.
Okay.
Have you seen this guy?
I trust anyone named Sully.
Well, no, where he stacks the cups up and he explains how things work. And he does it pretty much in layman's terms.
Okay.
It's called the Iran nuclear deal debacle. Let's see this video.
America, we're going nuclear today. We're going to go back in time to the year 2015 to examine the Iranian nuclear stockpile. This is a display of the 10,000 kilograms of uranium, 3.5% that Iran had in 2015. That is the uranium that is used in nuclear reactors by all countries around the world. But at the same time, they had significantly enriched it. In the green cups, 20% enriched uranium, they had 370 kilograms of that. And then something extraordinary happened that hadn't happened in over 60 years, where the mullahs of Iran finally decided to engage with the West, and a deal was struck. And the deal was simple. You denuclearize, we will remove sanctions. Now, you got to fast forward to 2018 under Donald Trump, and after tens of thousands of easily verifiable inspections by the International Nuclear Committee, by tens of thousands of inspections from our allies, as many as 10 SNAP inspections per day, and over 3,000 inspections in 2018 alone, Iran was down to 300 kilograms of the 3.5% uranium, and they eliminated their 20%. Against the advice of his national security advisor, who told him about all the nuclear reports, against the advice of all our allies who told them about all of the inspections, he canceled the deal. Because not only did he cancel it, he sanctioned them. Now, they have 215 kilograms of 3.5% uranium. They have 278 kilograms of the 20% uranium. And unbelievably, they now have 409 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium.
On the way to nukes.
On their way to the 90%, which is nuclear warhead.
So in layman's terms, you have a country that has the ability to do something. You strike a deal with them. You may not like the terms of the deal. I don't know any deal that everybody likes all the terms of. But you kind of keep controls on what was going on in Iran. Fast forward to now. And it makes me think, with Trump saying, oh, Israel didn't drag us into this. This was your plan all along. You tore up the deal in 2018 so that we could get to this point so you could say they're on their way to making nuclear warheads. Why? Because Netanyahu's been saying that since the 90s. They're 2 weeks away. They're 2 weeks away. That's why you tore up the deal in 2018. So that now you could get to this point and go, look, they're weeks away from it.
But why? But why do you want to do that?
Why? Because they want to expand Israel, bro. They want to take out Iran and control that space and expand Israel. They've been openly talking about it. You haven't seen the videos of Netanyahu and all the people in Israel that are the crazy right-wingers talking about this destiny to expand Israel's borders?
All the way to Iran?
Yes, they want to take like southern Iran. They want to take Syria. Syria's a disaster right now, bro. After who went in there? The United States.
But we install stability.
No. You know who they put in charge of Syria? A guy that was on like the terrorist list 10 years ago. Now he's all good with the Republicans and he's the head of the whole thing?
Congratulations. You played yourself.
You guys listen, it's a lot going on, bro. And I'm telling you, we have played ourselves. We're in a bad, bad way. I can't even understate it.
I don't know what to do though. If I'm like, I got to tell you guys, I don't feel great about being in the city right now. I really don't. This isn't where you want to be, is it? If we're being honest, is this where you want to be? In America right now. I live on the Upper West Side. I want to live in Jewtown in New York City right now. Is that really where I want to be? A Jew in Jewtown. The name of my biography. I don't want it. What am I doing? I need to get off this damn island and live on land.
That is a good name of biography.
What, a Jew in Jewtown? But like, seriously, don't.
But anyway, I just share
you're
that
freaking
info.
me out. You can't now just go in anyway. Everyone's shook now.
No, you should be.
know.
No,
All
but you
the
should
ELR
be
is-
so that at some point you have a conversation with your friends, neighbors, whatever, and tell them to stop playing around and electing bozos. I don't believe most of the world, the same way, look, I don't know if you guys pay attention, but I look at Israel as a nation of people, just like America, who doesn't like their leadership and was trying to put them in jail.
Well, half of them.
Half.
Yeah. Just like, which is America.
Just
Which
like-
is America.
just
That's
like
America.
the
It's
US.
just like America. And I believe most of the world knows that we're trying to figure out how to get these people in jail.
Right.
And maybe that's me trying to make myself feel better.
You making my stomach hurt.
So, guys, you can't
I know.
ignore it. It's a disaster.
And I will say, yesterday I had lunch with a friend of mine who's an organizer, and she said to me, "I don't think we're gonna have midterms."
A lot of people think
Straight
that.
up.
Yeah, a lot of
She
people
was
think
like,
that.
"It's not gonna happen," and I'm like,
Well,
It
here's
can't be.
Here's the
She's like, "It
perfect.
can."
But here's the perfect setup. Because we thought it would maybe come from the protesting.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it would come from Minneapolis. That got wrapped up for right now. The ICE thing is calmed for a moment, at least for those of us who are privileged enough to not have it affect our daily lives. However, God forbid, a terrorist attack.
Oh, man.
If there were a terrorist attack, and then the U.S. will
man.
go, hellfire and brimstone to the rest of the world. Well, now we can't have people outside. Now we can't. We're going to change. Then you go the Netanyahu route. Because, Trump could be talking to Netanyahu like, wait, how do you stay in power forever?
Right.
Yeah.
I just stay in war.
October 7th.
Yeah, October 7th is how I stay in power forever. And Trump goes, oh, we need to have an October 7th. I mean, I know there are some people out there who probably believe that the idea is impossible, that leadership would do that to a place where they'd say, hey, I'm okay with something terrible happening because it will empower me more. But I'm sorry. I historically don't believe that. I'm not even just talking about Trump. In general.
"Yeah, nothing
all
is
of this stuff
impossible
is
anymore."
possible.
You have to believe. Well, I will say this. According to, and I just looked at it again, I read this article, the Trump administration has no legal authority to invoke national security and take over elections. And I've heard this in multiple places. The problem is legal authority. What world are we operating in where people are following laws?
Well, isn't he supposed to talk to Congress about going to war also?
I swear there's a woman who listens to us, her and her husband. I see them at Alvin Ailey. And they love our show. They're very appreciative of us, and they even support this new platform. They used to listen to us when we were on Hot. They've come to me, love the show, love what you guys talk about, love what you stand for, blah, 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 blah. She's a judge. And so I saw her the other day, and I said, what are you guys going to do after we figure out how to get out of this as a democracy? Because the judicial branch and the legislative branch has no enforcement arm.
No. Only the feds do.
Only the executive branch has an enforcement arm. So they've found a gray area, a loophole, a weak point, whatever you want to call it, in the entire democracy, where if you cannot enforce the laws, this whole gentleman's handshake of like how our democracy works, it's not cutting it, bro.
No, we have people who don't care about it anymore.
So now you're hoping the military folks are like, listen, our job is to protect the Constitution, but they're waiting for orders. Last we heard this week, the people giving them orders think we're in a religious war. So we got work to do, people, and y'all non-voters out there gotta stop acting like it's all the same. You're gonna see it's very different, unfortunately.
Very, very,
Very.
It's very different, man.
on.
There's people who respect the democracy, and there's people who disrespect.
But that's the thing that makes this so different than any other time. And that's why I get frustrated when anyone compares any other time. We could go through all of them. Bush
Reagan.
and Clinton, Bush and Gore, second Bush and Gore. All of these people, I could play Ashani cultures. They're kind of all the same game. I can play. They're not, but I can play the game with you. Because at least they were like, well, we do all line up by the Constitution.
That's right.
That's over. Now it's the side that believes in the Constitution, in other words, America, what the paper is, America, and people who went, no, I don't believe in that. I believe that America is worship of Donald Trump. That's what America is. There is no constitution. There is no law that governs people.
Or worship, even if it's not him, of what he's representing on behalf of, right? Because I still firmly believe all of that.
Running roughshod over everyone, letting the rich run this country, with no sort of
corporations, all of it, no checks and balances.
Yo, guys, once they said that they want the AI to be able to kill on its own, I just went, oh, now I get how you get into the religious part of Antichrist talk. Now I get Antichrist talk. They want to let machines kill people without anyone control. So, okay, I guess this is what we're dealing with. But it's all the same. It's all the same.
It's so not all the same.
And you will run into like nice civil people who will be like, oh, everything's fine.
Yeah,
it's politics, but it'll work out. It's America. No, bro.
Well, and I don't even understand how people could say that when you saw people storm the Capitol.
Not a big deal.
Violently.
No.
Right? Something did happen after that. Some people went to jail. And then someone was elected and got all of those people out of jail.
Yes. And those people received money.
And the people who got them out of jail or supported them in their storming of the Capitol were the wife of a Supreme Court justice, the family of the president, senators and judges, firemen, teachers.
All right, so I am being serious. I'm legitimately stressed out.